If you'll bear with me, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I do what I do. Do you like to have fun?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy time with your family and friends?
Yeah.
Don't we all? 40 years ago, I was not able to have fun or to enjoy my family. I was pregnant with my third child, and I was exhausted every day. I was so anemic. Morning sickness was morning and evening for me. I worked full-time at the hospital. On my breaks, I would go into a back room, lay my head down, and drop off into a sleep. Someone would shake my shoulder after 15 minutes, and I would go back to my desk. This went on for about 3 months. The doctor told me I was this close to needing a transfusion, which luckily I didn't. But they had given me, because I was so anemic, they had given me some iron tablets through the pharmacy, and I had to go to the emergency room because of them. It was a miserable time, even though it was joyful in that I was bringing a child into the world. After he was born, my husband said to me, "Mary, why don't you try these Shaklee supplements that we were just introduced to?" And I'm like, "Mike, you know those things don't work." My dad was a pharmacist, and he would bring home literally cases of pharmaceutical vitamins. They didn't seem to help me at all when I was in my teens. Then when I was having children, obviously my prenatals weren't doing much because I was so anemic. So he was so tired of me being tired that I said, "Okay, I'll try these." After a month, my hemoglobin was in the normal range for the first time in my adult life. I didn't have to take a nap every time I sat down. I went back to work actually when Jim was 3 weeks old. We didn't have family leave back then, and we needed the income. It changed my life, but it opened our eyes to the possibilities of living a healthier life. You see, my dad actually died at 55 after 5 heart attacks.
Oh.
My mom at 66 after 5 heart attacks and open heart surgery. So I really had a bad gene pool, right? My doctor, after a cardiac angiogram, said, "You need to get better parents next time around." Not our choice. And we are told, I grew up thinking that, your family history of heart disease was going to impact me early in life. Well, keep in mind, my parents died at 55 and 66. I am now 69. At 55, Mike and I, in mid-50s, Mike said to me, "Why don't we take up scuba diving?" I'm like, "Okay, all right, let's give that a try." And then at 60, I was in Hawaii. My sister-in-law, who was 11 years younger, said to me, let's try surfing lessons. Because when I think of Hawaii, I think of surfing, and I might never get back here. So I said, "Okay," because I lived in California. We used to call that bobbing for sharks. I'm on the surfboard. When they give you a surfing lesson, you paddle out. They show you how to do this, and the first thing they show you is how to fall off safely so you don't hurt yourself on the coral reef. So you paddle out. You're just paddling like crazy. And you get out there and you turn around, and you either sit there, or I was afraid if I sat at that point, I wouldn't be able to get my feet around to be flat again, prone. So I just stayed like this. And what they do is they shove you off when they see a wave coming. They give you a push, tell you to paddle like crazy again, and then they tell you to pop up, which means that you go from lying like this on your board to standing up in one fell swoop. Well, that might work for a 20-year-old. When you're 60, it takes a little bit more work. So I was able to get down to one knee, and I rode like that for about 2 or 3 times. And then finally I said to myself, "Mary, get up, stand up. You may never get to do this again." So I did. I didn't stand up for very long, but I do have a picture. 2 years later, I took surfing lessons again in Hawaii, and I was able to ride the waves. And oh my gosh, if you ever get a chance to do it, do it. It's awesome. The key is to look up. So in Maui, you are looking up at gorgeous mountains. And then you realize that you're actually coming close to the rocks and you fall off. But my point is, so last year I went actually paddleboarding in Hawaii, and this year in Turks and Caicos. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn won a Nobel Prize for her studies on telomeres. Some people say telomeres, but she won the Nobel Prize and she says telomeres. That's what I'm going to say. They are the ends of our chromosomes. The longer they are, the longer your health span, the shorter your disease span. My goal is to ride the wave of that health span just as long as I can. Who'd like to join me? Thank you.